Robert Downey Jr. continues teasing a return to the role of Iron Man. James Gunn's Green Lantern's just dropped its first trailer, and Sadie Sink will indeed be changing her appearance. Superhero Thanksgiving was celebrated with a bang, which means it's time for us to get to work and share all the fresh news and rumors from the world of comic book movies. The first, of course, is the photo Downey used to wish fans a happy holiday. And it wouldn't be a big deal if a Doom Iron Man crossover was mentioned for the first time. The Russo brothers, after all, just a couple of weeks ago released a strange clip recalling Tony Stark. Although it seems that since Downey is playing only Dr. Doom, he should distance himself from Tony and not remind fans of his old role. But no, both the actor and the director constantly reference Iron Man, and it's unlikely they don't realize what thoughts this will provoke in viewers, since they do understand and still do think about it yourself. Moving on, insiders have confirmed an old rumor about Dr. Doom's possible portrayal in the film. Long ago, there were talks that Victor would be introduced as a good guy and savior. Now, insiders are saying that at the beginning of Doomsday, Dr. Doom will be a wolf in sheep's clothing, manipulating the Avengers throughout the movie and only later revealing his true nature. A previous leak even claimed that Doom would pretend to be Tony Stark from his universe, to bait the Avengers with nostalgia for his own purposes. The latest info doesn't mention this twist, but it still sounds ambiguous, simply because we've seen similar things in Spider-Man 2 with Mysterio, in the third Spider-Man with the Green Goblin, in the first Thor movie with Loki, in Civil War with Baron Zemo, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Ego, and so on. There, it worked. But here even the laziest viewer knows that Dr. Doom is a villain and will eventually show his true face. However, this is just a vague wording, and there are many ways to manipulate the Avengers. In the comics, Doom has done this many times, so we can minimize the shock. Better check out the concept art drawn by an artist familiar with how Dr. Doom will look in the film. Now let's move on to Spider-Man. Fans have once again figured out Sadie Sink's role in the movie. The interesting fact is that the contract was signed not with Sony, but with Marvel. This is important because all Spider-Verse characters are owned by Sony. Tom Holland, for example, is under contract with the Japanese company. Since Sadie signed with Marvel, it means Kevin Feige holds the rights to her character. By this logic, Mayday Parker, Tobey Maguire's daughter, seems unlikely, and all potential chameleon variants are also out. Additionally, in the same interview, Sadie asked fans not to pay attention to her hair color, reminding that it may change. Therefore, the Mayday Parker theory is out again, and fan predictions now point to Firestar or Jean Grey, or a completely new character loosely based on Chameleon or Shanta, allowing Marvel to keep the actress under their wing without letting her go to Sony. Other rumors suggest that whoever the villain is in the film, it will be a mind-controlling villain. It's reported that the prison break scene, where Scorpion was spotted on set, will be a large-scale sequence where Punisher and Spider-Man fight damage control agents, who are being controlled by someone. And this same someone is how Marvel plans to explain the next shift of Bruce Banner into madness. Honestly, it doesn't sound too bad. After She-Hulk and Shanghai, the Green Giant needs a reboot. And this seems like a decent way to bring Hulk back to a canonical image. They did something similar with Wolverine in Deadpool 3. The movie, however, turned out to be expensive. The final budget, including marketing, was an insane $533 million. There were tax breaks and discounts, but even with those, the studio spent $429 million, although the officially stated development budget was only $200 million. This gives an idea of how Hollywood studios inflate numbers to make their projects seem commercially successful, and how you should multiply a stated movie budget next time to get the real cast. Logan and Deadpool managed even with the huge budget, because after taxes and cinema profits, the film brought in $670 million net revenue. The profit was $241 million. Not what you'd expect from a film grossing $1.3 billion. Instantly, questions rise for Fantastic Four and Superman, with $521 million and $616 million respectively. Both projects claimed to have broken even, which seems doubtful given Deadpool 3's South financial report. Streaming and digital sales exist, but analysts are saying something needs to change in how comic movies are produced. Ironically, the best way to cut costs turned out to be moving away from key. The era when studios economized with green screens is officially over. Guillermo del Toro said that Frankenstein was shot on practical sets, not just for beauty, but also to save money. Then James Cameron said key is a black hole for budgets, so they tried shooting new avatars practically. Now, Doomsday creators are shooting new Avengers movies on live sets. Specifically, production designer of Doomsday, Heavenbug, stated that roughly 80% of scenes used practical sets with backdrops. For the studio, it saves money for us. It ensures no cringe-worthy key like in Shanghai or Thor 4. Marvel has built mansions for the X-Men and Guardians sculptures, which would have been all key a few years ago. According to Pix calculations, one frame of key now costs Hollywood studios $50,000. Movies have 24 frames per second, meaning 1 second of blockbuster key costs over $1 million. Infinity War had 2,900 key shots. If shot today, the key budget alone would be $150 million, like the entire budget of Interstellar in 2014. Thanks to greedy artists and unions, cinema is returning to practical filming. This trend will be used in Doctor Strange 3, where, finally, there is good news. Benedict Cumberbatch confirmed the film is in development, and according to him, at a fairly advanced stage. He also said he has a creative role in the movie, allowing him to influence the process. He stated everything is moving brilliantly, but news will come only when Marvel is ready. This is very interesting because apart from Strange, there are Black Panther 3, Shanghai 2, X-Men, and other films in progress. Black Panther is ready to shoot. The question arises, how will Marvel film movies after Secret Wars if the Secret Wars script doesn't exist yet? And it's unclear how it ends. Digging into this, we can assume Marvel has a clear plan for ending the Multiverse saga. And this plan appeared not now, but about a year and a half ago, when the Black Panther script was just being developed. The Russo brothers only had drafts then. They didn't know who would die in Secret Wars or how the universe would look at the end. From this, we can conclude, as discussed in a previous video, that Secret Wars will not be the end, but the beginning. The next Marvel saga will unfold in a new universe of Doctor Doom, where for most heroes, little will change. They will continue to live in their isolated domains. This explains why the scripts for Doctor Strange 3 and Black Panther are being developed faster than Secret Wars. So fingers crossed that Doom becomes the villain, not just for 2 films, but for an entire next saga. The upcoming Avengers movies are just a warm-up and the debut of the character. We would like Scarlet Johansson to return, but it seems unlikely, as she recently criticized not only Disney but also her colleagues. She reproached Marvel actors for not supporting her during the 2021 lawsuit against Disney, when Black Widow was released on streaming the same day as theaters, impacting her contract, which included a share of box office revenue. She received tens of millions after the lawsuit. In a recent interview, Scarlet said she received almost no support from fellow Marvel actors, as they were afraid to oppose the studio. So, it's very unlikely she'll be called back for Avengers, which may be for the best, since Scarlet has found her path in the dinosaur franchise, while Marvel seems uneasy. There is also confirmation online that Marvel has taken the Multiverse saga in a different direction. Information surfaced that in 2019 Marvel planned a whole trilogy about the Thunderbolts. Main roles would include Baron Zemo, Red Hulk, Abomination, Justin Hammer, and Leader. The project was described as a testosterone-fueled detective action movie. Fans went into chaos after news emerged. Marvel rejected this idea and instead chose to make Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk, inserting Abomination and turning a dark character into a useless clown. Justin Hammer ended up in Armor Wars, which never released. Red Hulk and Leader were in the failed 4th Captain America, while Baron Zemo and all his plans were forgotten. Considering these leaks, it seems we will soon learn what went wrong in 2019 and why Marvel abruptly changed course. What do you think? Should they have filmed the original Thunderbolts version? Or is the new one quite good? Share your opinion in the comments. That's all for now. See you next time, friends.